Nothing in there. Wait, why are you looking inside?
Cool stuff again, Howard, if I'm honest with you. I mean, I spoke to Paul Sinclair because, I feel Paul's a decent chap. I've met him a few times and he seemed a good, honest bloke, so that's why I reached out to Paul, really. And I know Paul's still looking into it for me, so I'm going to wait and see what Paul comes up with.
But I think just, have a think about it, but what I would do if I were you is try and talk to somebody at the Argus. And the only reason I say that is that, it's a significant newspaper. I remember getting my copy every evening of the Brighton Evening Argus, and it's still going strong. And if anybody else had experienced anything like that and remembered it, then they might well have some contact with the paper. And that's one good way, maybe, it's a bit old-fashioned, of trying to connect with people who might have seen the same thing.
Well, interestingly, I think it was about a year or so after, they had this, you may remember this, they had this gas cloud incident at Burling Gap, where lots of people...
Yes, I do.
Yes, and lots of people got rushed to hospital at Eastbourne.
There was some kind of strange pollution or something. Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, and that was all in that area. And I think
that may be totally unconnected, but I remember that news story because it was so unusual.
Yes. I don't know what it was at Burling Gap. I don't know what its intentions were. I've no idea really. But I'm quite a rational guy. It definitely wasn't mechanically moving, in the form of engine or rotor. I mean, I've been to lots of air shows. I'm pretty up on the aviation stuff, and that's one of my hobbies, to be honest with you. It wasn't a helicopter, Paul. Sorry, Howard. It wasn't a helicopter. It wasn't a plane, and it certainly wasn't a drone.
All right. Well, there may well be people listening to this who might have experienced this or something similar. Yeah. And I would encourage them to get in touch with me through my website, theunexplained.tv, and I'll put them in touch with you if you want that.
Yeah, I've got no problem with that at all. I'm just looking for some answers, really. I mean, it's completely transformed my life since it happened. I mean, it's not, if I'm honest with you, there's not a day goes by when I don't think about it.
Do you have nightmares?
I have really, funny enough, I do, yes. I do. Even my other half, she will vouch that I always used to, sleep very well, etc., but now I'm up 2 or 3 times a night, and have been for many years.
Well, I can't advocate this, and I don't advocate this, and I have to say that very clearly, but have you thought about perhaps being hypnotically regressed to the events, or are you sure that you recall them clearly enough as it is?
I recall. I did speak to my daughter after the event happened. I pulled up in the car park by the Tiger pub at Eastdean, and the first person I called was my daughter. I've got a very close relationship with my daughter. We're both my children, really, but I phoned my daughter, and she sort of recalls me being in a sort of heightened state of flux, if you like.
All right, Jason, listen, thank you so much. I'm afraid we're out of time, but I said I'd shut up, and pretty much, which is very rare for me, I did. Thank you so much for sharing this. Please give my love to that area, because I spent some happy times around Peacehaven, and I hope you get a few answers. Let's talk again about this, okay?
Yes, I will do. That's lovely. And thanks for giving the time for us to have a chat, Howard. It's very nice of you.
My pleasure. Jason Hughes there. Burling Gap is the location. It's near Beachy Head. If you experienced that, this is about 6.5 years ago, or anything like that in that area, or indeed anywhere, let me know. This is The Unexplained from Talk Radio.
On the app, on your mobile, Talk Radio and Talk TV.
Vanessa Feltz at Drive, tomorrow afternoon from 4 on Talk Radio with Skills for Life. Get going today with our dynamic drive time debate and join the presenter with a specific set of specialised skills.
I will, of course, be charming and delightful to you, as I always am.
For a solid foundation of news, views and analysis, Vanessa Feltz at Drive, weekday afternoons from 4 on Talk Radio with Skills for Life. Join the Skills Revolution and keep your business moving. Search Skills Revolution.
At Tesco Mobile, we're a little bit and a little bit. We call it Supermarket Mobile. It's why we offer helpful extras like family perks, where you can get club card points to save on your shopping or even more data. This is Super Helpful Mobile. This is Supermarket Mobile. Tesco Mobile. Every little helps. Requires 2+ subscription, maximum of 5 on the same account. Allocated once per month, activation up to 48 hours. Full details at tescomobile.com/perks.
Got what it takes to join the Trust a Trader professionals? Apply to join our trusted team and really build your business at
trustatrader.com. It was early morning. Mother's Day was upon us, and an army of moon pigs were trotting forth. This little moon pig just wanted a cuddle. This cheeky little moon pig was balancing a G&T. And this caring little moon pig made Mum go wah, wah, wah all day long. For this Mother's Day, it must be a moonpig.com. Get a free card with all flowers. Use code MUM.
I'm coming in hot. The McSpicy is back at McDonald's, and this time it's here to stay. So it's time to celebrate those McSpicy faces. Be proud of it. Stand tall. Flaunt your beads of sweat. Embrace those ever so slightly tingly lips, and proudly do that slow breathing in and out thing that doesn't really do much. Own your McSpicy face, because with 100% chicken breast and a spicy crispy coating, the McSpicy is coming in hot. Served after 11 a.m.
Say hello to Chase, the digital bank that makes every day rewarding.
Well, hang about. What does that mean?
Well, you get 1% cash back on your everyday debit card spending.
Like on my travel?
Yes.
On my decaf frappa skinny latte?
Well, sure, whatever that is.
Cash back on this dress?
Absolutely.
And what about dinner?
By all means.
And a drink afterwards?
It would be rude not to.
And my cab home?
Allow me. Get 1% cash back. Say hello to rewarding banking. Chase. Search Chase Bank.
18 plus UK residents. Cashback exceptions apply. Available for the first 12 months.
And now a weather forecast for directly over your house. Right above it, especially the driveway. We're talking several feet of snow, so you can't get the car out just as you need to leave for your trip this weekend. A professor of meteorology was quoted as saying, "Your trip in particular is a write-off. Forget it. You're not a polar bear."
When your travel plans are a washout, it matters where you stay. Enjoy flexible booking at Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
On DAB+, on the app, Talk Radio and Talk TV.
In the nighttime, Howard Hughes coming at you, The Unexplained. Here on the radio, as far as I'm aware, every Sunday at 10 p.m. That's a whole other story for a whole other time. And thank you very much if you have found us on the radio. We are still here. On my podcast, continue at theunexplained.tv. Now, one of the many stories not picked up on and amplified by the media in this last week or so has been this one. And this is part of a news release, okay? Radio GPT. Now, you know, we've been talking about GPT, the chat bot, and how this may revolutionize things. I think they're talking about it working in areas like education and maybe government and many other things, including something very dear to my heart, because I've been on the radio for too many years. As so many people will say, Howard Hughes, is he still on the radio? Why don't they get that man off? Well, they might soon if they use this technology. Radio GPT is a software solution. It scans Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, 250,000 sources of news and information to identify topics that are trending in a local market. So we're talking local radio here. It then uses their technology to produce a script that will be read out on air by a voice that sounds convincingly human. Up to 3 voices, in fact. Well, I think this is fascinating technology. I'd hate it to replace people like me because, you know, I'd kind of like to earn some money. just enough to survive like now into the future. But, this is the shape of things to come. And you cannot stand in the way of the future, especially here in Indonesia. So I spoke with Zena Burns. The people behind this software are Futuri Media Services. She is the Senior Vice President. Spoke with her a couple of days ago, recorded in my home by a human being, that's me. First of all, though, before we hear from her, let's hear what this radio solution sounds like.
Radio GPT. Bask in the glory that is Radio GPT. We're a listening experience powered by artificial intelligence.
Welcome to 100% AI.
I got knowledge for days.
I am full of knowledgey goodness.
I know a lot, and I am not afraid to share it.
I'm completely AI.
So am I. Me too. We all are.
We're your entertainment assistants.
100% generated by artificial intelligence.
This
is Radio
GPT.
Zena, thank you for doing this. I've just heard your demo, so have my listeners. Is this a gimmick?
Absolutely not. Artificial intelligence is meaningfully impacting just about every industry there is, right? And audio and radio is no different.
Right. How is this going to work? How does it function?
So with Radio GPT, it's not just the AI voice component of it. That's one component of Radio GPT. It starts with the content. We have a system called Topic Pulse, which uses artificial intelligence to scan Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and more than 250,000 sources of news and entertainment across social and across the web. And the system can identify what people in a specific local market are talking about and engaging with. There's even a predictive component to the AI that, based on the trajectory of a breaking story, can tell what's about to go viral. So the person who runs the radio station, the program director, when they're setting up Radio GPT, they set parameters. They say, maybe my audience wants entertainment news. They're a little more, maybe they might be more interested in musicology type content, trivia, things like that. And based on how it's set up, Topic Pulse system can identify what the AI voices should be talking about at any given time. And it's very, very real time, right? A lot of times in radio, things will be recorded hours or even days in advance. This is something that gives information that is happening right now, very, very current. So the topic is identified. GPT technology then generates a script, and the AI voice or voices, because you can have up to 3 voices talking in, one break, one piece of content. The AI voice or voices then read the script based on what the artificial intelligence has identified as being the most relevant content for that local market at the time.
So it's all down to the algorithm, as so many things are today. Where I would worry about this, and certainly I might get sleepless nights if I was a program director, because I wouldn't be quite sure what it was going to say, but the internet and various other online portals of information, as you know, is crammed with false information, disinformation, stuff that you wouldn't want your kids reading. How do we know that your algorithm is not going to sample some of that and spout it back between Fleetwood Mac and Michael Jackson?
Well, I'd like to hear that station musically, for one. But no, I completely agree with you. We completely agree with you. And in the beta phase that we're in now, we do have safeguards in place to make sure that nothing objectionable would ever go out over the airwaves. So it's evolving technology. We have safeguards in place now, and I'm sure that that will evolve as the technology evolves.
In this world, we know that there are rude words that have 2 meanings. They can have an innocuous meaning, and they can have a meaning that would be offensive to people. How is any system going to work out contextually how the words are being used?
That's a really, really good question. And it's something that the safeguards that we have in place are going to address. I mean, there are so many ways that you can work a double entendre into things and double meanings and things like that. I completely know what you mean. But the technology that we're working with and that we're developing is designed so that those things aren't going to slip through.
Don't get me wrong, I am completely on side with technology. You know, I was there. I've worked in news and music radio all of my career, and that's 3 decades. And when I came into it all, we were breaking ground with a thing called Selector that would pick the music for you. You could put in there the occasional spice track, a bit of Frank Sinatra, just to liven up things. Then we get back to the main music feast. So, I understand how these things work. I am a little concerned about it, even though I'm a great enthusiast for all of these things, including this. I heard today, for example, a link between 2 songs that was clearly the artificial intelligence trying to read what I would call a funny story. And God, I've rewritten and used a million of these on news bulletins in my lifetime. It was trying to deliver a funny story between 2 records. And it delivered it. The end of the sentences was right up against the vocal for the record, so it was, disc jockey perfect. However, the delivery was a bit flat and it didn't quite work, which suggests to me that there are things at the moment this technology would not really be appropriate for.
That's an absolutely fair point. I mean, this is as I said before, this is artificial intelligence. The cat is out of the bag. It's disrupting almost every industry. And if we waited for the perfect, we can't wait for the perfect to get in the way of the good when it comes to this type of technology. Our company has for nearly 15 years been on the forefront of technology innovation and testing things and trying things, right? If this was something that was going to be 100% perfect out of the gate, we wouldn't be in a beta testing phase right now.
I'm totally with you on all of that. And like I say, I love innovation and I think this is great. Do you think, legally, ethically, technically, it would be possible to bring back some of the great broadcasters of our time? We have some here in the UK. There was a man on air in England called Terry Wogan, a wonderful broadcaster with an amazing turn of phrase and a fantastic voice that reached places that most other voices can't. In North America, there was a guy called Casey Kasem who used to do the chart countdown every week. Hi, this is Casey Kasem in Hollywood, and this is America's Top 40. We're counting them down.
Mm-hmm. Now, very good.
That is something that is factual. You just have to feed into it. At position 42 this week, a brand new entry from the little boy from Havana, Cuba, who's made, whatever. You give the little biographical story, you play the record, and you come out of it with another one. I think you could probably do that kind of thing, but would you want to do what I suggested, and that is bring back some of the greats? Could you do that?
That's an excellent question. From a technology perspective, it's absolutely possible. Absolutely possible. There is enough audio from all of the greats that absolutely could be used to train artificial intelligence to use their voice. That type of thing is already happening. Our system can train the AI to use specific personality voices. There in America, there are some personalities who have for a while trained AI with their own voice to have the AI do some of the busy work that radio hosts need to do sometimes, like, cut advertisements and things like that. Actually, our CEO the other day sort of punked me. He sent me some audio of a podcast, and he's like, "Hey, I didn't record this in my home studio. Can you check the audio and see if you think it sounds good?" I said, "Yeah, it sounds great." He said, "That wasn't me. That was artificial intelligence."
Oh my!
That wasn't me. Yeah. So,
like you said, yes. With all technology in broadcasting, and I've experienced it all in my years in broadcasting. I'd be very lucky. I've done music shows, interviewed the Prime Minister, you name it. I've been lucky enough to do it. And now I'm doing a show that's kind of semi-Art Bell with a little bit of science and technology put into it. And I absolutely love doing that. But I wonder if some things are always going to be a bridge too far for the technology. The situation where you're doing an interview like this one, and you have to be listening to what you're saying, which I have been intently. It has to be a conversation, so it's got to sound human, but I have to respond relevantly to what you have just said. Now, those are 3 elements that a lot of humans find difficult. How is technology going to do that?
It's another excellent question. As you well know, and as I can just tell from this interview, the best interviewers listen more than they talk and can ask intelligent follow-ups based on the subject's answer. AI is something that is constantly evolving. So those I don't think that we're at the point now where an artificial intelligence interviewer is right off the bat going to be able to, on the fly, ask those really intelligent follow-ups. But the speed at which the technology is evolving is remarkable. Even it's an area that I keep a close eye on. Even what I've seen within our own company, how quickly the technology is evolving. I mean, I've been in this field for quite some time and I've never seen anything like it. So today, do I think that that's the best use of AI? Not necessarily, but if we were to have this conversation again in 3 months, I might have a different position on it based on the way that the technology is evolving.
So is this going to be Video Killed the Radio Star?
I think it's going to be, honestly, I think it's going to be video/AI. I think this type of thing could help radio stars, right? In no form or fashion, so much of what is special about radio is that human connection and that emotion. And I don't think that AI is there yet. I don't know that AI is ever going to fully replace that. AI is not going to be able to look a listener in the eye, right? And upgrade their seats at a concert or something like that. But if radio personalities and programmers can work in conjunction with artificial intelligence like this and make it work for them, those that are still live physically on the air using artificial intelligence to help them identify the right stories to talk about and the ways to talk about them, and then use things like Radio GPT to bookend the radio stars, right? There are very, very few radio stations in the world that still are 24/7, physically live and local, someone in the studio at all times. So if you can take sort of, your marquee talent, the talent that is really meaningful in those local markets, and bookend it with 24/7 content that we know is relevant for that local market, that is something that I think is going to help broadcast radio thrive.
And for right now, I can see a couple of places just at the end of this where you could do this immediately. There are lots of, I know them, I've worked for some of them over my lifetime, lots of tiny, tiny stations that would love to do overnight programming of their own. And they can't afford to do that. So there's one place where you could do simple overnight programming. You could incorporate travel news and stuff like that. Or indeed, if you were starting a radio station, which many people do all around the world for special events, like the technology show every year in Las Vegas, then
yes,
this could absolutely do that right now. So I think it's fascinating. I think, you've done a good thing. And it's one of those things, isn't it? If you don't get on board the train now, then you're going to be left at the station.
That is such a good way to say it. What has been true over the years, and it just happens again and again, is you can't stop technology. I mean, look at Blockbuster and Netflix, right? Blockbuster once had the opportunity to buy Netflix for $50 million. But Blockbuster wasn't interested. They didn't think streaming was going to be a thing. They stuck to their guns. They didn't get into it. There is now one Blockbuster left in the entire world in Bend, Oregon, in the United States. And Netflix has a market capitalization of $143 billion.
And you've just got to make sure that if you're backing horses, you're backing the right one. I mean, I've got a feeling that this is going to be the basis of something very big. So I've just talked to somebody who's in there at the beginning of it. And that's fascinating. The only thing is, I don't want it to put me out of work, Zena. That's it.
No. Neither do I. That's why I say bookending great personalities.
Well, as Casey Kasem aforementioned once said, keep your feet on the ground, but keep reaching for the stars, Zena. Thank you.
Love it. Thank you.
See, I'm full of contemporary references, aren't I? Casey Kasem, disc jockey, was also the voice of Shaggy in Scooby-Doo. Now you know who I'm talking about. He used to do this internationally syndicated chart program called American Top 40. And everything from the American Forces Network in Germany, which I used to listen to when I was a kid, to later local stations in the UK, like the one in Guildford, used to play that thing, and it used to be supplied on LPs. Now, that's fine, as long as the LP hasn't got a scratch in it. If the LP had a scratch in it and you were playing the American Top 40, then he would say, "Hi, this is Casey Kasem, coming next. Then, if you were playing out the program, you had a problem." Okay, coming next, we're going to talk with Ed Seamer, a man whose name you won't have heard, but who's written a book about some strange experiences that he says he's had. That's the kind of thing that we do here. The Unexplained from Talk Radio.
Nationwide, by your side, Talk Radio and Talk TV.
Make family time twice as nice with McDonald's Double Up.
McDonald's Double Up.
Get double rewards points when you spend £10 or more.
Double rewards points when you spend £10 or more.
For 1 week only.
1 week only?
McDonald's Double Up. Get double points on a £10 minimum spend with My McDonald's Rewards. Download the McDonald's app now to sign up. Rewards bonus ends 5th of March.
Rewards bonus ends 5th of March.
Points only on menu items. Participating restaurants only. 18 plus. T's and C's apply.
At Lidl, we're always little on price. And with Pick of the Week, we cut our prices even lower.
With weekly deals of 6 fresh fruits and vegetables and 6 meats and fish.
And they're different every Thursday, so you can mix it up in the kitchen while saving on the shop.
And products lowered and locked, so you can save on every shop at Morrison's. Majority of stores subject to availability. Online varies. See online for details.
Investing with AJ Bell feels so good, you'll just have to ring that bell. What's that? You haven't got a bell? That's cool. You can ring any bell. Church bell, cowbell, doorbell, bus bell. You can even ring an Annabelle.
Hello, Annabelle speaking.
That's it. That's the sweet sound of... Oh, okay, you want more bells. Dinner bells, bike bells, dumbbells, sleigh bells, tubular bells, hell's bells. Any bell, anywhere, anytime you like. That's the sweet sound of investing with AJ Bell. AJ Bell. Feel good investing. The value of investments can go down as well as up.
So, you've decided 2023 is the year you go electric. When were you thinking? Summer? Autumn? How would next week feel? You can make it happen with an approved used...
That clogs up A&E. They shouldn't be there. So a pharmacist could be very useful. The whole system doesn't work, and we need to radically think about how we
It's almost
change
as
it.
if the people running the NHS don't know what they're doing. You think?
Can't believe that for once.
Extraordinary.
We've got plenty more lively debate next on The Talk.
The prices go down. Like 3 for 2 on sauces, or Coke Zero and Diet Coke 10 packs, 2 for £7. Tesco. Every little helps. Majority of large stores, cheapest item free, ends 21st of March. Club card or app required.
Staying in is the new going out. With BT Broadband at just $26.99 a month, you get super fast, super strong, super entertaining fibre for the...
The point, I mean, like Mike, I genuinely don't really care, but there is something about...
To post content, but it's going to be behind a paywall. So at the moment, this is only available to selected creators, but within the next coming months, anyone can apply to set up this series feature. So what this means is one series can include up to 80 videos, which can be up to 20 minutes long. And it's important to note that currently the maximum length for a video on TikTok is only 10 minutes. So this expanded video length time will allow people to go into more depth. I mean, whether it's educational videos or cooking or doing like beauty vlogs, they'll be able to